Hey guys, I'm Katie.
And I'm Alexis, and this is the Check Your Aesthetic podcast.
My hair looks crazy today.
It is a bit much.
Everybody who's watching on YouTube, please ignore, I don't know. I've cleaned my entire house today.
Katie has 2 strands of hair.
Yeah. Well, it's in a claw clip. A clippy.
Okay.
Clipper. Anyways.
It's that clip.
Y'all, this is crazy. Yeah, well, Happy New Year, which we've already discussed.
We've already said
in a lot of episodes, but this episode is it's
first
the
time
New Year
we're
episode.
recording in the new year.
It is, and it's our New Year's episode. So we're talking about our resolutions, your resolutions, our goals, your goals, our best part of 2021, your best part of 2021, our looking forward to in 2022, what you're looking forward to in 2022. That's everything, I think.
We love. Yes. I feel like this is the first episode. Excuse me, I burped. It's the first episode I feel like that we have been truly just off the rails in a while.
Yeah.
And that feels very nice.
I have literally my best friend from growing up and looking at me while we're recording. I've never recorded with somebody in the room before, but she's just over there playing Animal Crossing. Y'all, I'm addicted to Fortnite.
No.
It's so embarrassing. It's so embarrassing.
No.
First of all, I'm 2 years late. And second of all, I'm not a 14-year-old boy, but it's I'm addicted to it. I don't know if I've said this on the podcast. I might have said it in episodes that are going to come out later, but I just got over COVID. I just had COVID. Yep. And so I was really trying to find things to do, because when you have COVID, times are
just horrible. Yeah.
It's a little dark times out there. But luckily I tested negative on day 5. So I was able to go places with my mask on. But anyway, Fortnite kind of just slithered in there, and she slipped through the cracks, y'all.
Everyone is allowed to have their thing. I was absolutely obsessed with Candy Crush. I got to thousands.
My mom is too.
Yeah. And then I also was Austin, if I don't know if you can hear me right now, but I was also very obsessed with this app called Bakery Story 2.
I love those games. Those kinds of games are so crazy.
Yeah, I was obsessed with Bakery Story 2. I kind of want to get back into Bakery Story 2. I feel
that's your resolution.
I feel like that's what I'm most looking forward to in 2022.
Bakery Story 2. No, yeah. I think it's just it's fun to have hobbies that are literally just for fun and not for work at all. Fortnite is not my job.
Hobbies.
Fortnite is my hobby. Animal Crossing and Fortnite are my hobbies. Alexis loves Bakery Story 2.
Yes, and Candy Crush. I haven't played those in so long though. I do get kind of addicted, so that's why I feel like I just need to stop. I did read 3 chapters of a book yesterday.
Oh, I've been reading as well. I just finished It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. That's
what I'm reading.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's very dark.
Yeah, I'm really scared. Okay.
It gets darker and darker, and then it ends very dark. It's just depressing the whole way through. But it's very good. I had to did you read the first 3 chapters, or are you in the middle? Yeah, you got to get into it, but it gets darker and darker and darker. So pretty awesome, honestly.
Good way to start out 2022. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess there's not really much for us to update. Oh, there is something for us to update.
There is. Oh my gosh. So if you guys know, I don't think we ever actually announced it on the podcast, because we were so behind in recording, or we were ahead in recording, I guess. But we were hiring or looking for a creative assistant, so somebody to help us with our socials and various other things. And we have one now.
Yay.
So it's Kennedy Houseman, I believe is how you pronounce it. You guys probably all know her. Her Instagram is Ken House. She it like has been in the whole like she was in the digital art vibes in 2020.
She was in the 2020 community.
She was in the 2020 digital art community that was that disbanded whenever everybody realized that they had jobs.
Yes, exactly what happened.
Yeah, but then she's continued to like create content, so she'll be helping us with our TikToks and our Instagram and other things. So if you see a TikTok, that's probably her, and you should go comment on them and like them, and definitely follow us on TikTok, because the whole reason we hired her is to
I thought it was so funny. We said, because we just had our first meeting with like official meeting with Kennedy today, and it was so funny because Katie's like, we did that like year in review post, and for the TikToks it was 22 TikToks.
That is so, like, some people make 22 TikToks in a day.
Yeah,
like, we went crazy. And like, if you go look, it'll be like we post like 4 in a week, and then we go like 3 months without posting one, and then like I post one, and then Alexis posts one later that day, and then like we forget for like 3 more months. I just love anytime I'll post a TikTok, I'll look later and you've made one too.
Yeah.
Anyway, but you should follow us on TikTok. It's at Check Your Aesthetic. If you don't listen to the way end of every episode, we say it at the end of every episode, but it's at Check Your Aesthetic, and you should hit us with a follow, because you don't want to miss it, because it's going to be really good, because we literally hired somebody else to do it because we couldn't handle it ourselves. Alexis is dialed into the sounds happening in her apartment.
Do you hear that?
No.
It sounds like, do you know in like elementary school when you had those like hollow like
yes
things? That's exactly
the
what
boom whackers.
Like. Yes, the boom whackers. It sounds like, wait, let me take my headphones fully off. Hold on, please hold. So someone 1,000% has a drum set somewhere.
Someone's doing the boom whackers. I love that.
Yeah. So, guys, if you can hear that, which I feel like you probably can't, but if you can, that's the background noise for today.
Amazing. I actually have something that I would like to say.
Okay.
I have a review.
Oh yeah.
That we're going back. We're going way on back here. To a year ago, because I feel like that would be cute and fun. And I found them with a username from a year ago, so we'll give her a shout out. So it says, love. Oh my God, 5 stars, obviously.
We love you.
Love these girls, and I've been supporting their art on Instagram for a while. So happy that they expanded their platforms onto something bigger. Would 100% recommend this pod. XOXO at Doodles by Nora. Thanks, Nora. The one above it says we're the best ladies on Instagram, and I would have to agree with that.
True.
We are the best people on Instagram.
Definitely. Okay. Should we get into the meat of this episode?
Yes. As I said earlier, maybe I should make it more like succinct. We got submissions from you guys on Instagram about your goals for 2022, best thing that happened in 2021, or biggest accomplishment, and then what you're most looking forward to in 2022. So we're going to be like reading and reacting. We're going to be reacting to your
reacting channel.
we're reaction YouTube channel. But we're going to be reading you guys's, and then we're going to be talking about ours. So I guess we should start with personal goals for 2022 from everybody. Okay. Some of these are hilarious to me. So first we have, start choosing me over others. I deserve to be happy too. That's great. That is
I think everyone should do that.
Yeah, girl. Alexis dialed out. I think that's like a super hard thing to do and learn, especially when you're in your 20s, because like you are like supposed to be selfish, but then you don't want to be like, it's like a fine line. Yeah, because like you want to choose yourself and choose like your happiness.
Friend exactly. Or like a bad partner or whatever. But I think something that I think a lot of young people need to learn is that you truly cannot love others until you love yourself.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
But that doesn't mean if like your partner's like, like you're dating somebody and they're like, I'm having a really hard day. Like, can you make dinner? You're like, no, I'm choosing myself tonight. Like
maybe it does mean that.
Alexis is like, but like, you know, it's just balancing like being nice to yourself and also being nice to other people. I think a lot of times
self-care.
Yeah,
Prioritizing
self-care.
yourself.
I feel like that's something that gets lost in translation sometimes. This is not me saying don't do that. That's not at all what I'm saying. I'm just saying like it's a hard one to do.
Yes.
Okay, Alexis, do you have them pulled up? You want to read the next one?
Yeah. We have some like businessy ones, like increase my part-time freelance revenue by 10%.
I believe these are people who did not know that the next one coming was what are your business goals? And so they inserted the business goals into the personal goals.
Someone said buy a house. That is a very large accomplishment. I love this person that said drink more water, work out more, and read more, because that's pretty much exactly what I already have the water part down, but I definitely don't have the workout or the read part. So
I feel like this year is different than other years for me, because usually like I always get like really into the new year, even though like the follow through is never there, but like I always get really into it. I'm just like a big holiday girl. Like any holiday, I'm there. I'm doing it. It's why not? You know, every day's the same otherwise, but I'm a big holiday girl. So, but this year I have like way more realistic like goals that aren't huge and unattainable and vague. So I do like the drink more water, workout, and read more. This one says to be more intentional about everything I put in my body. I like that, because that's like a good way to think about.
Yeah, I think that that's a good way, instead of being like, I want to lose weight.
Yeah.
Like I think that that's kind of, because I have the same kind of mentality of every new year. It's like, okay, I want to lose like X amount of weight. I want to like work out X amount of days. I want to like whatever. But I feel like the general energy that we should be bringing into 2022 is like how to just like treat yourself better, like both mentally and physically. And this goes along with someone that just said be better every day.
Yeah, I love that.
And I think that's really great, but I also think that, and this is something I've talked about with my therapist, is like giving yourself days to like not.
Yeah.
Like giving yourself days to just like rest and like not like you are like enough just like waking up. And like you're enough just like getting out of bed.
I recently talked to my therapist about and I was talking to Kate about it too. My friend who's watching me, she's playing Animal Crossing. But I talked to my therapist about like the idea of like having a neutral day, like so that, you know, there's bad days and there's happy days, or sad days and happy days, but then there's way more neutral days. And she's reading this book, my therapist, about how like the neutral days can really like do a lot for you. So you don't necessarily always have to be going from like bad to good, because every day being a good day is very unrealistic. Like most days are just neutral, but that's not necessarily bad. So I don't know. It's a good thought.
It's a very good way to put things in perspective, because I think that like personally, I am just like such an all or nothing person. So if I'm not getting like every single thing that I had planned done like on time, putting like, you know, 100% of energy into things, that I'm like, wow, that sucked. But that's not, I like that term of like neutral. I was also talking today with my therapist about how it's just like not everyone is like doing all the things that you and I are doing, but like we're in full-time grad school, have part-time jobs, we're doing the podcast, and we sort of have pages, and like we also just have lives, and we're in a pandemic.
Exactly. And a lot of people listening, I know, like
a lot of people,
a lot of things,
doing freelance stuff and small businesses, and even just like, you know, even if you do have like, you know, a corporate job, that's a lot to manage on top of having a life, you know. It's just like a lot. And I think that you don't have, my therapist was basically saying like you can't put 100% into everything.
I've been thinking about that a lot recently and talking to people about that, because I think especially when the new year comes around, people think I'm going to, you know, start working out, and then I'm going to do this and add all these things to my plate. And I'm going to like get a 4.0, and I'm going to, I don't know, increase my freelance, whatever. It's there is not enough hours in the day for you to do every single thing you want to do every single day at 100%. Like there's enough. Well, everything you want to do is probably not the right thing to say, because you obviously what you prioritize is what you're able to do, but you can't read a whole book, cook 3 meals, go to work out, take a bath. Like there's
social life.
Yeah, there's just not enough time in every single day for that. So it's just about like,
also there's not enough energy.
Like, yeah, exactly.
I think that like I start making a schedule for like a projected like schedule for myself, and I'm like, okay, so I'll wake up at this time and I'll do this and this and this and this, and then I'll go to bed, and I'm like, yeah, well, just because I say that there's enough time doesn't mean that there's enough energy time for that.
Exactly. Yeah. So. And I think just prioritizing like at that time in your life, what is important to you, because some people, their health and fitness journey is what is most important to them because everything else is kind of like stable. But if you like, for example, have just moved or just started a new job or something, maybe that's just not the time, and that's okay. But if it is, if it is, then great. But if you can only work out once a week rather than 4 times, that's okay too. You really can't do everything. And like for me and Alexis right now, like we're in school and working, and I know everybody listening has a plethora of things too, just maybe not the exact same list as us, but you can't do like everything. So just give yourself like grace. That's why I like the idea, like this person said, be better every day, because that's just like, you're not giving yourself like,
it gives yourself like room, and like it's not so concrete. So what is your goal, Katie?
Mine is my overarching goal personally for 2022 is to lower my screen time by a lot. And that works a lot of other things in. So like reading more, cooking more, being outside more, all those kinds of things. I just like would like to be doing things that aren't on my phone. And I also don't want to be on social media in the mornings or at night. Like I would like to reserve that for like working time, because I obviously work in social media. I do not want to be on social media, because even if I'm on my phone, I don't, Pinterest doesn't count, but like I don't want to be on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, like especially in bed, and just lower my screen time in general. But what's yours?
For me, it's really like to kind of, I guess the overarching theme is to like spend more time on myself and not so like completely focused on, like, obviously I'm still going to I guess I shouldn't say prioritize, but I'm going to focus on school and work, obviously. But I think 2021 was definitely an example of how I can like burn myself out by only focusing on those 2 things. So I want to, and that encompasses like, I want to start reading more. I want to start, like you said, like doing less time on my phone. I want to reach out to more friends.
I feel the same way.
I want to, at first I was going to do like I want to work out like every day type of thing. But I think that 1, that's just not realistic for me. And 2, I think it's more important just that I move my body, and like going to the gym is not, yes, I want to get to the gym, and like maybe in 6 months, if that's what, or a week, whenever, if that's what that looks like, then okay. But like, I'm not going to hold myself to that. So then if it doesn't happen, I feel bad about it.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
Yeah, that's pretty much my vibe,
Yes.
All right. Which questions should we switch to?
Let's do business/professional goals for the new year. And this ranges from, some of our followers have businesses, some of them don't. So this is kind of a range. We've got a couple about reaching a certain amount of sales on Etsy, which is always fun. I like this one: to invest in my business, take risks, and expand. This is very scary and hard. Anything when it comes to money is very high risk. And I think that this doesn't necessarily mean invest, doesn't necessarily mean money, but I do think that taking risks is very scary. So props to you for recognizing that and making it a goal. It's very hard. That is really all I have to say. I don't really have any advice. It's just hard.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that like once you start to kind of like level up, I guess, for lack of a better term. Like once you start getting into like a bigger field, like more risk is associated with that. And that's obviously scary, but I think that that also can be celebrated in a way. Like, how cool is it that you are in the opportunity to take a risk, that like
Absolutely.
that you can see that growth and everything, but of course that comes with scary sides of it as well. Someone said build community. I love that because that's just like in general as well.
Yeah, that's what we do here. So we always love supporting other people doing it. I think that that's really important. And even in my classes, I learned things like about that, regardless of like if it's a business, if it's being like in your professional life, building community is like how you make things fun. So I think that's a great goal because it's rather than like saying like, oh, I want to get this many followers. I think building community is a good way to think about it. And
definitely,
like we always talk about engagement, but like communities, like people who care about you and people who will actually like come back and support you over and over again. So I think that's a good one.
Right. Authentic engagement.
Very much so.
This person said, make my brand more why am I having a stroke?
No, I'll read it.
Read it.
Make my brand more my style and something I love more.
Thank you. Yeah, yes. I really like that one. I feel like that is, I mean, at this point, I don't even have a brand, but I don't know. In 2022, I think I just want to do, when it comes to Alexis Adams Co., I just want to do things that are making me happy and like not really something, because especially while I'm still in full-time school, like I don't have the time to be doing it full-time.
Yeah.
And so I think because of that, really like what's gonna provide me with the most is just something that's going to make me happy. So I think that reminds me of that.
Love that. Okay, this one I really like: to work on a weekly schedule and find time for staying organized every week. I think this is the hardest thing ever, and it's hard for me as somebody who like works from home and does school from home, because I think when you work like at a, you're not remote, and or if you're in school in person, you kind of have a built-in schedule, but when you're remote, it's all you. And I think it's very hard to stick to it when it's just you holding yourself to it. And I'm like okay about it. I do wake up every day and start working at like 9. But when it comes to school and stuff, that's when it's much less rigid for me. I try to do like all of my schoolwork on like one weekend day, but it doesn't really work out like that. But I also really love what she said about staying organized, like finding time for staying organized. I think that's very important. And that's something that I don't do enough, like getting myself ready for the next week so that I can like be productive. I oftentimes just hope for the best. So.
Right. For me, I do kind of like the opposite, where I plan like so much. And then like, if that doesn't happen, then I get frustrated. So I think that in the new year, like organizationally, I want to be like just more realistic with my planning and with my organizing and with like everything and my goals also. But I think that just not beating myself up, because like you said, like it is so hard. Anybody that is a freelancer or has their own business or just does anything from home, that it is so easy to just be like, I got 2 hours of sleep less than I probably should. Let me sleep in 2 hours more. And it's this balance of like, do I let myself sleep those 2 hours extra because I should, or do I get up because I need to treat this like a job? And a job in person is not going to be like, oh, you slept in, or you didn't get a lot of sleep, too bad. Like, they're not going to be accommodating for that. But it's like, it's also a privilege. I don't know. It's like a weird concept. So
yeah, I think it's the same concept as, I don't want this to come across wrong, but I think sometimes, and I'm talking about myself, that I do this. I'm like, oh, I need to do some self-care, or like I need to take care of
Yeah.
myself. But then it's literally just me not doing what I'm supposed to do.
Watching
Like that's
TikTok.
that's not right. Like you
Yeah.
need to get your shit done and you need to take time for yourself, but like
Yep.
you have to have a job and do your job. Like it's
I
just not.
read this thing. I don't know where it was. It probably was TikTok, honestly, ironically. But I saw this thing or read this thing, I don't know. That was about like active self-care.
Yes.
And how like you like sitting there and like watching TikTok is not
Sorry,
actively.
Kate.
No, it's fine.
For everybody watching, Kate just crumpled the bottle and I was trying to give her the death glare, but she wasn't looking at me. And so I was just looking in the corner like, and it's fine. I was just trying to like give her the like, don't do that again glare, but then she was just looking out the window. So I was looking at like, anyway, we're in a big fight now.
Anyways, yeah, I feel like watching TikTok and just like being on social media or like sitting and watching TV is not actively like giving yourself some time.
Exactly.
So I think like going for a walk or, you know, even going to the gym or, you know, reading cooking, doing like a coloring book,
whatever
journaling.
You like to do.
Yeah, whatever you like, but like, you know, not something that you can like mindlessly sit
exactly
and watch. So
yeah, and I think the pandemic also messed up like
the
way people's lives are, the balance between like breaks and work, especially with like when I switched from doing school in person to doing school from home, the amount of time I was spending on school cut by like 8. Like I was probably spending 1/8 of the amount of time I was. Also because none of my professors had anything prepared, so I had hardly any work. But it kind of just messed up everything. So that's awesome.
Right.
I have another one I want to read. I like this one.
Okay.
She said, build my resume and animal experiences for my animal science degree. So she's very specific with her animal science degree, which that's awesome. But I think resume building is something that I've talked about in a past episode. I talked about internships in a solo I did a while ago. So if you want to listen to that, we can link that in the show notes. But the episode title was something about internships. But I think that is something that is a great goal and something to definitely think about if you're in college, like what opportunities you're going to seek out, especially with COVID. If you're in college right now, you probably missed a lot of time. So trying to like get some experiences, not necessarily just to pad your resume, your resume, but also just so that you're more confident when you go into the workforce, because I know that I would not be if it had not been for my internships. So I think that's a good one.
I over the break, I made a LinkedIn and now I'm obsessed with it. Oh my
God.
I've been Katie all the time
begging Alexis to make a LinkedIn, and then she makes one and she's like, I like texting me every hour. She's like, I have 20 connections. And like the next hour, she's like, I have 30 connections. I'm like, okay. And she's like, my dad won't connect with me. I'm like, okay.
He finally did. He did connect with
awesome.
me.
He's probably listening right now. He's like, I did.
He's like, anyway. Oh my God.
I love it. Did we talk about our business / professional goals?
No, we did not.
So I'm just going to go ahead and give it to you guys. Yeah, I was going to say, I'm going to give it to you guys straight. Like I'm putting my energy into the podcast this year. I'm not feeling drawn to Katie Creative Co. So she is going to sit on the sidelines. So podcast goals, we actually have a lot. We want to go on more trips / see each other more frequently, which is kind of a necessity as much as a goal. We have very, very specific number goals we will not be sharing, but we have like revenue goals. We have listener goals. Please send this podcast to your friends so that we can reach them. If you're listening, you're like, somebody would love this. My BFF would love this podcast. You should link them. Yeah. And as the review earlier said, you should tell them we're the best people on the internet. So, or on Instagram. I think the whole internet though.
Yeah. For me, I feel kind of the same. For me, I feel like Alexis Adams Co. right now for me feels less of like it used to be more of like a business, and now Alexis Adams Co. for me feels more like, I don't want to say like a hobby, but just like,
yeah, I know what you mean.
Like a side thing that like it feels
just
more
there.
Just there, like what I'm like when I feel like posting and like being creative or like sharing something.
Like an outlet.
So I feel, yeah, an outlet. That's a really good way of describing it. And I feel like I want to share more of like my life on there, rather than like businessy stuff. So yeah, I might stay to that, might not. You might see me on there in like a month. You might not. Who knows? I'll probably still be on my stories regardless. But yeah, I feel the same exact way about podcast stuff. So for business, really, I would say business wise, want to go to Louisiana, and I want to go on a trip with Katie. And we also want to meet 2 people that might also be friends.
We would like to meet 2 other people. That's not really a business goal, but
no.
I was like, I don't know about all that.
That's not really
I'm trying to think of more like specific. A lot of ours are very monetary or like numbers based, which like is just the nature of the podcasting world. I don't really subscribe to the numbers goals as far as like social media goes, because that's not really how it works. But with podcasts, it is, because you don't really have like podcast engagement, like listening is engagement. Anyway, we just want to level up, and we also want a lot of awesome guests. We've already got some episodes coming that you guys are going to really, really like. We've had some good conversations, but we're just working on the pod. So you're in the right place if you're listening right now. We're about to blow up and become extremely famous.
About to see our origin story.
Yeah, really.
Not our villain origin story, but our
hero origin story. Okay. Should we go ahead to people's biggest accomplishments in 2021? I love this.
I love this one.
So we have, the first one is 14K in revenue for my freelance design biz that I do in addition to my 9-to-5 design job. That is awesome.
That's so cool.
Yeah, that is so exciting.
Proud of you.
I am proud of you as well. That's really, really dope. I love that.
Someone said buying a house and maintaining my business as my full, I'm assuming that means as well as my full-time job.
No, her business is her full-time job. My business as my full-time job.
Oh.
Yeah,
wow,
continuing
I just
to
can't
maintain.
Read. Well, I love that for you regardless.
Yeah, that's
awesome.
Not
being able to read.
That's awesome that you were able to buy a house with your business being your full-time job. That's very impressive.
We had one that made my heart die. Getting my first sale and starting a business as an 11-year-old.
That is so cute. Why is that so cute? There's 2 people that said they finally started their businesses. That's awesome. I hope that the podcast helped you. That's the goal, obviously. I love this one. Got myself out of a bad mental state by pushing through and staying positive. I did the same thing. And I would honestly say that's probably my biggest accomplishment of the year, was like,
you had a hard year.
Yeah. I had a very hard year, and not to really throw a kink in the pod or make everybody feel bad for me, but 2021 was certainly the worst year of my life. It was not good. You guys probably remember, like, my grandma died right at the beginning of the year, and then everything just went downhill. I did graduate, so that was good. But I definitely did the same thing. I had like a big bad anxiety spike, worst one I've ever had in my life. And then I pulled myself together, and now I'm doing much better. So that was pretty impressive for me.
Yes, I would like to say that I'm very proud of you.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. And I've definitely been watching and helping as I can. I would like to say that I'm, like I said, very proud of how you've handled yourself.
Thanks. I thought you were going to say that you were taking some credit. I was like, you probably do deserve some credit from the voice memos I've sent you, me being like, I just had a panic attack.
Yeah, I probably should. I probably do deserve credit.
Yeah, just a little bit of credit. Just a little bit.
No, I wouldn't say that. But yeah.
Okay, this one's fun. Branded a large scale event. That's so cool.
Yeah, I saw that.
Event branding is so fun.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, I love like just the concept of like event planning and event branding, and like like the design of it and just everything.
It's so fun. We're doing one of those at work. We're doing like the American Advertising Awards for Birmingham. Like my agency is planning it, and I'm not really super involved. It's more like the designers at my agency, but it is so fun. And there's so much that goes into it. It's crazy, but it's so cool because it's like very tangible. It's the most tangible that branding gets, I think. It's like a big event that you're branding. Very fun.
Love it. Okay, so for your biggest accomplishment, would you say that you already said it, or do you want to say an official one?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that, and maybe graduating college this year.
Definitely.
Which was cool. And starting grad school. That's been fun too. 4.0 first semester of grad school. Love that too.
Yes. So. I would 1,000% say that getting into SCAD, I feel like is like probably my biggest accomplishment of life.
I forget, did you plan on going to grad school at the beginning of this year? Was that even something you were thinking about? I think that you started thinking about it whenever I started talking about it.
Yeah. Cause like I had it in the back of my mind, but it was kind of like, because of COVID, it was kind of like put on the back burner.
Yeah.
And then when you started talking about it, I was like, oh yeah, that's a thing. But SCAD was the school that one of the schools that I would originally wanted to go to. And like for undergrad. And I vividly remember getting the SCAD like academic catalog. They sent it to me in high school, and I remember crying reading through it because I knew that I was getting free tuition to UVM and that I wouldn't be able to go. And I just remember feeling like so devastated. And so then I remember sitting right there on that couch when I got the email that 10 days after applying to SCAD, I got in and I got a scholarship.
I remember like right after you applied, you were like, I just have to wait so long. Like, I just don't know how I'm going to wait. I don't know how I'm going to do it. And then like a couple days later, you were like, I get it in. I was like, awesome. Awesome. Thank you for the dramatics.
I was, I cried before I applied. I'm very dramatic, but yeah, I got in, I got a scholarship.
Love it.
And I'm starting my third quarter tomorrow, but I can say that I got a 4.0 the past 2 quarters. Thank you. And yeah, that just like going to my favorite school of life, and like I'm glad I think everything works out for the best, like because if I had gone to SCAD when I originally thought I would have gone for the wrong thing. And now I'm like so in the right spot. Like my program, it feels like it honestly feels like my program was like written for me. And that is such a nice feeling. And knowing that like every like, you know, in like undergrad when you have to take those like stupid classes.
Yeah, I'm feeling that too. It's like everything is I'm excited about for some reason. Yeah,
it doesn't feel like there has not been like a minute where I'm like, wow, I'm not going to use this, you know?
Yeah, and exactly. Even though you hated your accounting classes.
But also I'm like basically an accountant, so
okay, that's interesting. My friend who's getting her graduate degree in accounting over here right now is probably like, that's not the truth. Anyway, okay, well, love that. So proud of both of us. I really am proud of you for getting into SCAD. I knew you would get into SCAD the whole time though. I was being like, oh, okay, we'll see. You're like crying. I was like, okay, you're certainly gonna get in. Like, calm down.
That's what literally everyone around me was saying. Like after I got in, I'm like, thanks guys.
You're like crying. Everyone's like, okay. Anyway, love it. Well, despite the shit that 2021 has been, there's been some good things as well. Okay, what are you most looking forward to in 2022? These ones are fun. Everybody went off with these. Growth, travel, new opportunities. Love that. The travel has question marks. I assume that's because of COVID. It's not looking too good, guys. The Mr. Omicron variant is coming in strong.
I'm scared.
Yeah, it's a lot. This one says, hopefully adding a fur baby to the family and getting engaged. I love all the people who were like, my goal is to get engaged. I was like, you don't really have a lot of control over that, but I hope it happens for you. I hope it happens for you. But this one's, what are you looking forward to? So hopefully. you do get engaged, and hopefully you get
we're manifesting
a
that
dog
for you,
or a cat. I don't know what kind of animal you want, but I hope you get
fur
it.
animal.
Yeah.
This one says, oh, I like this one. Growth and exceeding expectations.
I love that. One of my passions is proving people wrong who said that I couldn't do anything, but I actually don't have a lot of people who don't believe in me. So I don't really get to do that a lot, thankfully. All my people believe in me.
This person said meeting my small business
internet best friends.
Yeah, so we already did that. So but we do want to meet two more two people. Interesting. Anyways.
That's fun. That's a fun idea. Okay. Well, this person said creating apparel for my business. I'm stoked. That is awesome. I am afraid of apparel. So I was always afraid of it. That's why I never did it. So I'm
like
stoked
wearing it.
Yeah, I'm afraid of clothes. I'm afraid of wearing clothes. I'm a nudist. Just kidding.
Yeah, you're the opposite of a never nude. You can't wear clothes. A never nude is someone that can never be naked.
Oh. Did you just make that up?
No.
Never be naked. Well, how do you shower?
With like swimsuit.
That's shocking. Okay, well, anyway. Somebody else said they are hoping to travel for work again. I'm hoping that you travel for work again as well. I really feel bad for the people who accepted like their positions because of how much travel they got to do. And then the pandemic hit, they're probably like,
why am I?
Okay.
Why?
Okay, I hate my job.
Oh, this one, to keep things chill and make it fun.
I love those vibes.
Definitely.
That's awesome.
What each day has to offer and what I can offer in each day. That's so cute.
I like that. I like that mindset of what you can offer. It's a give and take, guys. You can't just expect things to happen at you. Even though I frequently do. Wake up and like, good things just happen at me. It's very hard. I'm trying to think of what I'm most looking forward to in 2022. I was talking about how actual plans wise, there's not many that I have for 2022. I'm actually really looking forward to my classes this semester for school. That's
same.
Yeah, they're really cool. They're very cool.
I literally was up last night at such a nerd. Haven't even started
such a nerd.
It's just like a quirky little like nerd girl. I have not started my classes yet. However, I was up at midnight reading the syllabus.
Yeah, I do that too.
And like getting really excited. And I was already thinking about my final project for this class that has not started yet.
What are you taking?
SCAD classes are titled with like the longest titles. It's like quantitative insights, something.
I don't know what that means.
And then me either. And then there's another one that's like design the future entrepreneurial principles for creative business or something like that.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, but I'm really excited because I think that my entrepreneurship class will add a lot to my portfolio.
That's good.
So, and I was getting this idea already because like for the final project, you have to make this like business idea. And I was thinking for my business idea that I would do a skincare, like this is like, it's not supposed to be anything that you would like actually do. Yeah. But my idea would be to make like a skincare line that is like marketed as like, it's like made in Vermont with like Vermont farm products. And it's like very much marketed as like a Vermont thing. And then it can be like sold at like Stowe at like the lodge that I stayed at. And like they like those like nice boutique hotels can like whatever. I have a lot of ideas. I can talk to you later. I don't want to bore everyone.
I love that.
But yeah.
Yeah, so. I'm taking a class called Branding Using Social Media, and then I'm taking Intro to Multimedia Communications. And branding using social media, the first half of it is about your personal brand, and the second is professional brand. All I know is that we're making like mood boards about ourselves, so I'm into it.
Perfect for you.
Yeah, and then we do professional brand the second half. I don't understand that part. I'm gonna be honest, I don't get it. but I'll figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
And then my intro to multimedia communications class, we're doing a lot of like photography and videography, which is fun. It feels like these are going to teach me skills, which I always like.
Yeah, definitely.
Last semester was very like intro level, lofty kind of classes, which they were fine, but they were kind of boring.
Right. Yeah.
Sorry to my professors, love y'all, but y'all's classes were just the same things I learned in college.
I'm scared for my quantitative insights class because
I don't even know what the hell that means.
I read the description and like the part of the syllabus, and it seems like it's basically the accounting stuff that I already learned applied.
No, that sounds hard.
So yeah.
Anyway, I would say,
do you have any, what is your thing that you're looking forward to?
I don't really know. I'm looking forward to when my dog is done with her heartworm treatment and I can bring her on trips and bring her to the lake and have her run around in big circles. She's currently at that right now getting her first shot. So everybody please send good vibes to my dog.
Even though this will be out 3 weeks from now, but
well, she'll be almost to her second shot. So.
Oh, well, that's good. So everybody send good vibes to Rue. For me, I have one of my best friend's weddings in March. Katie and I are hoping to plan a trip in like the spring
or summer.
And then hopefully another one for our 2-year anniversary.
Yeah, we'll see. And we'll see how those pan out.
We'll see about that. So no promises. But I will be graduating this year. So that is crazy.
I don't think I'm graduating until, I guess it'll be next calendar year.
Yeah.
I believe, because I started, I can't for the life of me figure out I've tried so many times to figure out how long I'm going to be in this program. I've landed on 2 years, but I don't think that's true. It doesn't make any sense because I think I have 35 credits and I'm taking 2 classes a semester. That is not 2 years. I don't understand. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I hope that this episode inspired you guys, and I hope that you're going to set some goals that are realistic, and I hope that you're going to kill this next year, and I hope for everybody's sake that it's going to be better than 2021.
Yeah. I hope that everyone sets realistic goals, and that does not sound, I'm not trying to say that you can't achieve your goals, but I hope that you don't fall into the societal trap of resolutions, and I hope that you give yourself a break. We have now almost hit 2 full years of a global pandemic. So everyone should pat themselves on the back for surviving.
Should be nice to themselves, please.
And yes, exactly. So, and especially if you are a small business owner or a freelancer or just anybody, frankly, that's so cool that you are able to do that during a pandemic.
Very much so. Love it.
Or even just in general, but especially during a pandemic. So yeah,
absolutely. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. Be sure to leave us a rating and review on wherever you listen to your podcasts, and subscribe to keep up with our weekly episodes.
And then follow us on, I don't have this ready. Follow us on TikTok at Check Your Aesthetic Podcast. Nope, just Check Your Aesthetic. And over on Instagram, that is Check Your Aesthetic Podcast. And our personal accounts, Kitty Creative Co. and AlexisAdams.co. And we will talk to you next week. Bye, guys.
Bye.